Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Chris and Manny Show. This is our second episode. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the last episode. If you are new around here, please consider subscribing, liking the videos, and also commenting. That goes a long way in helping our podcast. And obviously, we can have more conversations like this. So, yeah. Welcome, guys, and thank you guys for being here once again. What's going on, Chris?
Hello, Manny, mate. How are you?
I'm all right. How's your week been, bro?
My week's been sweet. How's yours?
Sweet as a nut.
Sweet as a nut,
Sweet
mate.
as a nut.
This is our second episode.
Bro, we got to be consistent.
We got to
Do you
be
know what I'm trying to say?
consistent.
We're not trying to start and then fail. We're not doing that. We are not doing that. So, yeah, that's why we appreciate everyone watching. Do you know what I mean? But, yeah, my week has been shit.
Oh,
As
God.
you know.
Especially
I'm
what
not gonna
happened, was it today or yesterday?
A couple of days ago, so obviously had a roof leak, leak in my roof, leaking into the ceiling, into the loft, and into one of the bedrooms. Tried to sort of go up into the loft. Next thing you know, man's putting his foot through the ceiling. Do you know what though, right? I thank the Lord I didn't go through, because the casualty, I probably won't be here today. I'm not gonna lie.
Episode 2 done. First episode and then finished. You know,
They were like, what's going on with these guys? Where are
in the
they?
cast.
And then the next episode, I'm like, I ain't doing it, guys. Nah, honestly, like it was madness. I'm not gonna lie, but he's getting fixed. That's the
That's the
most
most
important thing.
important
So
thing.
yeah, what about you, man?
This week has been, it's been all right. You know what? From our first episode and what we discussed, that thing that my friend said, are you committed or are you interested? It's really hit the back of my head. Like, I need to take this content creation stuff more serious and be more committed to it. Yeah. So as you know, I suffer with insomnia. I don't sleep well properly. I don't even know if you could tell from my eyes. I haven't slept well this whole week, so I'm a little bit tired.
Yeah.
But I also see it as a blessing that if this is something we want to do properly, rain, snow, lack of sleep, lack of a roof, or we have to get it. We have to get it done.
And that's
so,
the commitment we're making.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
hopefully
So,
people appreciate and see that.
100%. I think we ended the last episode saying we're going to talk about childhood trauma, was it?
That's right.
I didn't bring tissues, so if I cry on my
box of tissues.
I use my hair.
Yeah.
I use my hair to just one. It's quite it's a topic that I think a lot of people don't. No, let me rephrase that. Who we are right now as adults is a culmination of our habits and behaviors as a kid, as a child. Your environment shapes your view of the world when you're a child. Like, I don't know too many people who are only children, like single children, but I find them to be very interesting. They either are very insecure or brazenly bold, whereby they're charged, they don't see failures. Like, I don't know, man. But yeah, how we're brought up as kids, I think, has a massive effect on who we are right now. But what's your thoughts on childhood trauma?
You know what? I think childhood trauma, a lot of people don't know. When you said childhood trauma, is like, people probably be like, what do you mean was childhood trauma?
Right.
But I think a lot of people don't realize, like you already mentioned, like what happens in our childhood can impact what happens in our adulthood life.
I don't think can. I think it will.
It does. Yeah, that's true. And I think a lot of the time we don't realize that our childhood is actually affecting our adulthood life. And a lot of people can't sort of link the two. So when we say childhood trauma, like, let's be honest, what is a trauma?
Yeah, I was going to ask that because trauma is quite a big word. Like when we say trauma from rugby, I used to play rugby. That's like head injury. Oh my God, there was a trauma. You know, he's bleeding. Not all trauma is physical pain. Like if I think of my childhood as well, like I grew up with my sister. We grew up in the same household, probably had the same food, had the same experience, same everything.
Yep.
But we have different stories of, okay, classic example. Let's say we both went to church and, I don't know, the pastor preached XYZ. We both listened to the same message, but we took two different things from it.
100.
We grew in the same household, I think my childhood was not as traumatic as what hers might have been or what she might have seen. We both went to boarding school. For those who don't know, boarding school is where your parents drop you off in this school and you stay there and they visit you maybe once a month. I remember she wrote some deep letter to my mom, like, you left me here, whereby I got sick for like the first couple of months in one of the boarding schools because I was missing my mom. I've never lived away from home. And she took me to another boarding school. I was fine and I actually had a good time, whereby my sister was having a horrible time. That's trauma. There was no blood or beating or accident or seeing death or harsh visual stuff, but that's still a form of trauma. That's just one. But how would you define trauma?
I think trauma is shaped in different ways, whether, like you said, physical or emotional. And I think it comes in both. So a lot of the time is how you deal with it. And a lot of people don't tend to deal with trauma quite well. So trauma can come in the form of like, maybe you've lost somebody, like obviously a death with somebody that you've loved for a long time, or a family member. So that can be traumatic. Maybe the way they also pass could just be like all of a sudden, then that plays in your head a lot. That's trauma. If you had an accident, like a physical accident, that's trauma. But it's like, it's basically how your brain is programmed, or has, how can I put it, has analyzed that event, and how it's played out in your head will depend on how you moved on from it, if I'm explaining myself properly.
100%.
So, okay, I'll give you a typical example. So like I said, if you lose a family member, all of a sudden, no one, like, God forbid, somebody, and I'm sure a lot of people have lost someone by motor vehicle accident, for example. Like, you've left the home this morning, somebody's gone out, and next thing you hear, police knocking on the door, and you kind of already know, let's be honest. Mate. So that's a traumatic event, because now you start rethinking either the last thing that you said to that person before they left the home, whether you had an argument, did you say I love you? You know, you just start thinking about all sorts of things. And it's like your brain is kind of processing, hold on a minute, this person was just here this morning.
I felt them, I saw them.
Like, I hugged them, or I kissed them, or however you left them that day. Or I don't know. And if that was the last thing that happened before you had that sort of them passing, that's a trauma. Because now it's like, for some reason, your brain, which is a powerful weapon, I've always said it can only process so much. Do you know what I'm trying to say? And it's like, all of a sudden, your brain is now trying to process, how do you now deal with this news?
You can't accept. You can't,
You know, you're trying to process this news. No way, they were just here. How was they not here? All of this kind of stuff. And then, especially imagine being a child, and then you've lost either a parent, any parent. So it's like, how do you now live without that parent growing up?
So one thing you hit that I don't fully understand is, you said the brain, and then you said as a child, your brain is still developing. You're still viewing the world. You're still viewing your parents for security, for comfort, for emotional support, for all of these kind of things. You're not yet fully developed.
You're not. As I say, when you're a child, your brain is like a sponge.
Right.
Because it absorbs so many different things. It's only when you get into your adulthood life, you're now able to dissect what's important to you, what's relevant to you, what you don't want any sort of, it's like you're filtering your brain and finding yourself all of a sudden. So it's like, okay, I do like this and I don't like that. I thought I used to like this, but I don't like that now as an adult, because is all part of the learning curve as a child into our adulthood. Let's be honest, there's a lot of things that we used to do as a child that we probably either don't have the energy to do anymore, we don't have the accessibility to do anymore, or we just don't like doing it anymore.
There's a lot of things I used to do last year that I don't like doing anymore now, and this is.
But imagine as a child.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm trying to say? So it's like, for me, in terms of childhood trauma, and I think when I bring it back home, was for me growing up was like, let's say, for example, again, bringing it back to the whole mental health thing in a way, because he's affected.
Are we going there now? Or?
Not in a way. We're going there.
Preview.
Let's be honest. The reason why I'm bringing it out, because it's affected me mentally as an adult. That's why, and it took me a long time to realize this wasn't sort of like just came out of nowhere.
Not overnight.
It's been a drag, what am I trying to say?
A journey?
Like
dribs and drabs?
No, a gradual, that's what I'm trying to say. It's like, it's been a gradual creep on me from a childhood to my adulthood, to the point where I'm behaving in a certain way.
Give me details. What are we talking about? Is it anger? Is it?
It's like, I think it's more resentment.
Towards who?
Parents. Because we're talking about childhood trauma.
Right.
And who's the people that affect you the most
it's
when
you're
growing up?
It's
your parents.
Your caregivers, whether that's your grandma, whoever's your primary caregiver.
So whoever is your primary caregiver, depending on how you are brought up in that environment, will depend on how you grow up. and how you come out as an adult.
How you view the world.
How you view the
and
world.
how you view
also.
relationships
so it's like,
and dynamics.
I said to you like last episode, like as a child, I was never allowed to go out.
Right.
That's traumatic for me.
Explain though.
So as a child, I'm outside looking outside my window and seeing everybody else playing outside. I wanted to do that.
But
as
your
a child.
parents were protecting you from...
They were strict. Again, you can as an adult now, I can view it as they were being protective of me.
I don't agree with it. I'm just trying to see it from their view.
Again, exactly. As a child, I don't agree with it. As a child, remember, as a child, you don't know nothing.
All you want to do is have fun.
You just want to play and have fun.
I still want to play and have fun right now, bro. As an
See what I'm
adult, bro.
saying? So you are none the wiser to nothing. All you know is my friends are playing outside. I want to join them. That is it. And then when your parent keeps saying no, all you keep hearing is no, without a reason. And that's what I hate.
Well, even if they gave you a reason, it's never going to be good enough.
But there's a way of explaining things to children, and which is what I have learned as an adult and as a parent now.
Right.
And the way my parent used to be in terms of not explaining shit to me is a case of, you can't do that. It's like, do you see what I'm trying to say? So there's so many different, the tone of voice, the behavior, the gesturing, the dismissal, and then the way you are feeling that your parent don't care about you.
Your feelings don't matter in an African household.
No.
You don't have feelings.
Well,
You're not supposed to have feelings.
what's feelings in an African household? Like we said last week, what's mental health in an African household? To you, it's like in an African household, as far as I'm concerned, how I perceive it is, you just do as you're told.
It's like being in the military, and there's, I don't want to say too much, but a lot of people who come out the military, like who've really served and done what they had to do, they find it hard to integrate back into society. In America, there's a massive opioid problem. Opioid, how can I describe an opioid? It's not heroin, but it's very addictive.
Either it's like a painkiller because
Opioid, and there's another one. But yeah, a lot of people who've served, like I have a good friend, me and him actually went boarding school in Nigeria. Right. I ended up coming to the UK, he ended up going to America, and he's gone to the army, served in so many, I don't want to say too much, but he's done what the army people, some of the stories he's told me that he's watched his, I don't know what his fellow soldiers once been detonated into bits. Like his colleague is blown into bits, arms there, legs there.
That's causing PTSD, bro.
Hear this out, bro. Some stuff that happens to him even in the bedroom, like sometimes he has flashbacks while he's getting intimate with someone. They find it hard to integrate because you've been brainwashed. Before you go into the army, they brainwash you. Like, you're not Manny no more. You're a number. Your sole purpose on this life is to defend your country. Your hunger doesn't matter. Your skin color doesn't matter. Your boxers don't matter. They all wear the same jock straps. Jock straps is like boxers. Imagine everybody washes everyone's boxers and you just wear one. You're not human anymore. So your basic pride and ego gets stripped. You're now a robot. Now let's bring this back to childhood trauma and the African household. In the African household, from my experience, luckily for me, I'm not from a very, very strict, super strict African household, but the rules still remain the same. You respect your elders, whether that elder is a dickhead, whether that elder is abusive to you, whether that elder, you don't like them, you have to respect, because that's our language, that's our culture, right? That militant mindset in the African household, I don't think it's right. But again, I don't blame the parents because it was worse for them. But they don't know that it's a different generation of human. It's a different software. Like, who I am now is different from who my child's going to be. Who I am now is different from whoever, I don't know, to who's 34. Like, every generation is different. And they didn't have any better tools than this militant, do as we say, go to bed at this time. Like, it's got its benefits because it's giving you discipline. You know how to cook, you know how to clean, you're self-sufficient. Right. But then emotionally, me, for example, I'm going to talk about myself. Yeah. I can be cold emotionally.
Right. Like, what do you mean by that?
Inhumanely cold. My emotions I'm not very emotionally intelligent. I could cut off almost anyone, even relationships and dynamics, because I never had a strong attachment or bond during my childhood. Okay. I didn't really connect emotionally to much. Right. Like, yeah, during my childhood was during the Abacha riots. I used to drive to school seeing dead bodies, bro. Like, they put tires on them. They put a tire on the legs and a tire on the torso so the person can't run. you could only roll, and they burned you, pour petrol and you burn. I remember this, bro. My mom had a Peugeot 504. We're driving to school, and I'm just looking out the window. So I'm desensitized to a lot of things. I think the first time I saw my granddad's dead body during his funeral, I didn't. Oh, okay. I'm used
no emotion.
No emotion. He's still my granddad because I know who he was, but I didn't like. Oh my God.
That was, I'm assuming, based on what you were seeing as a child. Does that make sense?
Of course. As a child, again, I grew up in a hospital as well. Oh, mate, I don't want this to be the death the podcast of death, but I've seen quite a few dead bodies, as weird as that sounds. Because I grew up in a hospital.
Right.
So I remember the first time there was what's that trolley where you put bodies on? Anyway, there's that trolley where you put bodies on. I remember I lived in the same hospital as where my mom owned, and there was a body in the garage. Oh, let me go have a look. And I saw it and I screamed, blah, 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 blah. But then I've seen the dead body under the age of 7 or 8 or 9. Then there's the riots happening. You're going to school. So it's desensitizing me a lot to a lot of things. So I got into relationships when I'm older now, and I could dump a girl without feeling nothing. I'm like, you're going to be alive. I'm going to be alive. Like, yeah, you cry for 2 or 3 days or 2 or 3 weeks, and you'd be fine. They're like, no, you don't feel what I feel. I'm like, what do you feel? What are you feeling? Maybe you're alive, you're not dead, like, so that's just one thing of many. Like, I think who we are now is only if you're lucky enough to have a partner or a friend to hold a mirror to be in your face and be like, mate, that's weird. Or else it's just the norm to you.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, it becomes a norm. And then all of a sudden, well, I say all of a sudden, but it's like, that's what I'm saying. You don't realize it till later, until either somebody points it out to you and be like, yo, Chris, like, what's going on with you? Like, did something happen to you when you were growing up? Because this is not right. Either this is not right or this is not you. Because, like, the reason why I say the brain is a powerful organ or powerful weapon, because indirectly, because let's be honest, like, there's so many things that your brain has that's processed and seen and is stored.
Millions.
It's storing shit. It's not till later that you come into a situation and it hits you, and that's why a lot of people have mental breakdowns.
Give an example. I'm trying to visualize this.
Okay, let's say, I don't know, like, you're saying, okay, when you were growing up, you saw a lot of like dead bodies and stuff like that. Your brain still has that in the back of your head. It's not in the frontal lobe of your head, because you're not living that life right now, but it's still there until, like, let's say, later on down the line of your lifetime, something may or may not happen.
Trigger that.
But the brain will automatically trigger something that it is processed. Because, okay, you brought an example of, like, people that went to the army. Yeah. And then you get a lot of the time, later on, they get dementia. Like, as you get older, you get dementia, right? Some people do, some people don't. But what I'm trying to say is, after a while, they can only remember things from the past.
From when they were serving.
So they have long-term memory from the past. But in terms of short-term memory, they can't tell you shit, because the brain ain't functioning like that anymore. Is at his latter stages of his life. But it can still, and then all of a sudden they start saying little bits and bobs, and you're thinking, what are you talking about? They're reliving the past in the present. So generally with trauma, and that's what tends to happen with the brain. So it's like, let's say, for example, like I was saying to you when I was a child, it's like, I couldn't go out. My mum would allow me to do this. And I'm thinking, and then I started rebelling.
We need to go back to that point, rebelling and resenting.
So I started rebelling, right, and also resenting.
What do you define as rebelling? You were saying no, slamming the door?
No, it just gets to a point where when your mum or your parent says, you can't go here, you can't go there, you start finding other sort of avenues of how you can manipulate the system to do what you want to do.
419.
That's what I'm trying to say. So it's a case of, oh, I've got after school club, but you fucking really don't.
Yeah, right.
I'm going to work, but you ain't.
But when did you...
But you're going to a party.
To me, that's a child finding fun, seeing as fun was taken away. But when I hear rebelling to me is like, if my dad says no, I say, why do you mean, like, challenging the system or the...
So I've never done that. Right. I'm not going to lie. I've never done that to my parents out of respect.
How much respect do you have, though? Because I think you would do it now.
No, see, now that's where there's a limit. So you have that's where I need to understand and know where my threshold is. Right. So now as an adult, I know where my threshold is. So now it's no longer about respect. It's about what my threshold is and what I need to do to protect myself and my mental health.
Let's give an example.
So, okay, for example, I'm without trying to say too much. I mean, it is what it is. I'll say it anyway.
It's an honest podcast, man.
So, for example, like growing up, I had a lot of
Just because they didn't let you go
I
out.
couldn't show it, and I couldn't do nothing about it. So it was a case of just take it on the chin, and I was, in a way, counting down my time to leave that house. So I was like, okay, just buy your time, go to primary school, secondary school. Obviously, secondary school is where you start sort of seeing life for what it is. Obviously, you hit puberty, you want to do certain things. You're not allowed to have a girlfriend. How old are you? Face your book. You can't go to... Do you know what I'm trying to say? So it was like, there was a lot of no's, no.
Did that make you angry internally?
Of course it did.
And how did you express this
I
anger?
couldn't. This is what I'm trying to say. So
You knock man out?
No, come on now. Out of love and respect, I ain't gonna.
No,
touch
not
my
your
parents.
not your parents, but if you had this anger at home,
Yeah. So the way I was able to sort of how can I put it? What's the word? Sort of like not let go of my anger, but sort of deflect my anger was I had a lot of fights at school.
hey, I know you are a
So
money
it's like all of a sudden it's like I had anger management. Do you understand? So I was getting angry so easily, but I was out of frustration from something else. Not because I was angry at that particular moment to that person or at that person. It was anger that had been building up from home. But like I said, I didn't realize that until now, until my adulthood. And this is what I'm trying to say. But a lot of us don't know that because we're not able to sit down and identify what is going on.
We can't.
So it's like a lot of the time it's like I was getting angry. I was having fights at school, bare fights at school. But that's not me. Genuinely,
I could visualize you punching them.
do you know what I'm saying? And that was like anger that had been internal anger, not because of I was like I said angry at that person. It's from I wasn't allowed to do this. No, you can't do this. You can't go here. You can't buy this. It's like, what did I do?
And then some little Jimmy in class looks at you the wrong way.
Do you know what I'm trying to say? Fuck off, man. You know what I mean? And all of a sudden you get suspended at school, or your parents are getting called in. Oh, what's wrong? Oh, Emmanuel's there. Man is like, I'm like,
You guys who cause all of
Do
this.
you know what I mean? But they ain't gonna never say they were the reason.
They probably didn't even realize.
They don't, because to them they're parenting. They're doing what's right for you.
How is this anger then, which started off as a child, how does that show itself in your life as an adult, as a parent, as a man?
So over time, I don't know how I've managed to. Yes, I do have road rage. I'm not gonna lie, that's stemmed from my dad, watching my dad drive.
Right.
And again, childhood. Right. Do you see it?
Right.
So that has stemmed from, if I grew up in an environment where everything was calm, I was getting to do stuff here and there, things were explained to me properly why I couldn't do certain things or why you're not allowed certain things, then you'd be like, I understand a bit more. But it's like, no, you can't do this. No reason. It's just because I said so. Because I'm your parent and I said so, you can't do it. Why? When I was 16, I was like, I wanted a moped. You're not allowed a moped. Because all your friends have moped, now you think you want to start doing gang. I didn't want to start doing gang. I just wanted a moped so I can get from A to B.
To go on.
No, I don't. I wasn't like that. I was a sweet boy.
Yeah, right,
I was a sweet boy. So it was like, okay, again, another thing was, like last week you asked me about football. I was playing semi-pro at one stage. I'm not going to lie, none of my parents came to watch me.
You know why that one hurts me the most? I play rugby, not semi-pro at all, pub team.
Mm.
Only once when my mum was in the country did she have the opportunity to, and this is someone who lives in Nigeria, who's now watched me. Every other time it's either a girl I'm seeing or one of my boys. And I always used to look at the sideline and see these other people's parents cheering, taking pictures. Bro, the day my mum came to watch me, I was ready to put my neck on the line, bro. Just outperform.
It gingers you.
It's not ginger. Ginger is a small word, bro. Beyond ginger. It gives you purpose, bro.
It's like you feel like Superman. Like you have like you said, a purpose to perform.
Bro.
And then you perform to your highest level.
I hate tackling. I don't like tackling. I prefer running. Obviously, rugby is different to football.
Yeah.
I'm shit at tackling. I'm not even gonna lie. If I've got someone watching me, I'm gonna give you something to watch. Like you're there to see me. You're giving your half hour of your day. In my soul, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I'll never forget again. There was one time I had trials for Essex rugby. Under 18, so I probably was about 17. I wasn't driving. And it was in Brentwood, somewhere deep in Brentwood. For where we live to get to Brentwood, to drive there is 20 minutes. To take train and cab and this, that, and the other is hard. I remember I got there on my own. It's cold, it's rainy, I'm shivering. There's other people with their parents and their cars. Of course I performed shit. Yes, I needed my own intestinal, but sometimes as a child, as we said, your brain isn't fully formed. You probably need that little bit of a pep talk or that little bit of a push. And all I heard from my dad, stop playing rugby, it's dangerous. I'm like, mate, this is the only thing I'm good at. Or not even good, I'm okay at. I'm shit at it now.
But you enjoy doing it. How about, my child enjoys doing it, let me go and support him. How about that?
I'm sure but yours is football though, that's different.
Bruv, you know me. Football is like, it's like a religion to me.
Arsenal.
You know that.
Arsenal to the core.
Apart from supporting Arsenal, I watch football. Weekend, I can spend my whole...
And you referee football.
And I referee football. So you can see it's like it's ingrained in me. Because I couldn't play anymore, that's the reason why I do refereeing, because I can still stay in the game. And that's why sometimes I'm like, some of my friends come and watch me. I'll never ask my parents now to go. Do they even know that I referee?
Mad.
Do they even know that I don't play football anymore? Because I'm not going to lie. I'm going to lay it bare. All my life, I just felt it was just constant criticism. I couldn't, bro. It's like I couldn't do right by my parent.
Wait, are you the older sibling?
I'm the first child.
Yeah, you guys get it hard, boy.
Bro, it's like I couldn't, bro.
You guys get it hard.
Even thinking about it now, it's like I don't know. It's like, it's mad, bro. It affects me till today.
I could tell.
Bro, how old am I? I'm over 30. Come on. I could literally, like right now, I could probably get so tearful, like, because it affects me deep, like it's deep because of the love and the respect that I had. I still have, but it's like it's diminishing. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, bro, it affected me. I didn't feel like there was no acknowledgement in what I was achieving and what I was good at. There was no reassuring. There was no well done. You're doing well. Nothing.
Positive reinforcement.
No, there was nothing. Football trials, I'm the one setting it up. I'm going there by myself as a child.
What age?
In my teens, bruv. I'm talking 12, 13, 14. I'm there taking, bruv. We was living, remember I told you I was living in East London back then. I'm traveling from West Ham as a child to Wanstead Park.
You could get abducted, you could get groomed, you could get kidnapped, anything.
I'm traveling East Ham, Wanstead Park, Wanstead, Bowl. And them days, East London went safe. But to do what I needed to do, I was traveling hella everywhere. Match days, I'm going by myself. It's not even like, they can even drop
you there and pick you up at the end. That's yeah.
So that's what I'm like. So all of that wrapped up into one. That's not even the bare bones of it. But imagine as a child going through all of that.
It's a lot of anger.
And all you wanted was to feel loved and to feel seen. I never felt like I was seen. Even till today, bruv, I own my own house. I have a job. I have kids I'm catering for. But yet it's like, I still feel like that's not enough for my parents.
Do you think the African parents are aware of the damage they've done to some of us, or they don't take responsibility? Or would you also say the fact that they gave you this tough love or no love has what's made you such a great father, because you're not going to repeat their methods to your kids?
But that's what we promise ourselves that we won't do, isn't it?
Right.
Because you don't want history to repeat itself.
Right. Generational trauma.
There you go. So I've always vouched, because there are times I have to check myself as a father to my kids. I do have to check, because there's times that I'm shouting, but I have to check myself. I'm like, that's not me. That's sort of like my dad through me, because that's what he used to do to me. So I now thought maybe that's the right way to parent. Then I have to be like, hold on a minute. Nah, that ain't me. That ain't the right way. So I have to check myself and be like, actually, no, let me talk rather than shout to my children and explain why I'm not either happy about what they're doing or I'm not happy about something else. Does that make sense?
It does.
So it's like, okay, if my children are misbehaving, I sit them and I'm like, girls, I don't like what you are doing because I don't think it's safe. So can you please stop that? Because I don't want you to hurt yourself.
There's a reason.
Best believe you're going to take that in more than if I say, stop doing that. What is wrong with you? Which one are you going to retain more? What information are you going to retain more?
The communication. Because you're not talking to me like a dog.
Because I'm giving you an explanation why I don't want you to do that kind of stuff.
Yeah. You touched on one point that till this day, you've got your own house, you own your house, you've got your job, you've got your businesses, you've got your avenues, you've got so much going for you, but still that pain from a lack of valid, bro, it's the same for me, by the way. Obviously, I don't have a family and some of the things you've mentioned yet, but from one of my parents, there's a feeling probably similar to yours, whereby it's not that I don't feel good enough because they do their best to tell me that they're proud. But during my childhood, there was a certain time where I kept asking my other parent, where's the other one? And you missed that. But your one anyways, before...
Yeah, we're going to use it.
Yeah. What could your parent do now to make you feel loved? Or is that ship...
That's gone. I'm not going to lie to you, bro.
But the feeling, the void is still within.
Unfortunately, it's there. Now it's just a case of how do you live with it?
You can't feel it. I guess you can't feel it with anything else, no?
No.
Only them is the end.
There's certain voids or hole in your life you cannot fill with somebody else.
Or something else.
Something else. Because a love from your parent, a love from any of your parent can never be filled with any other being, ever.
One or both.
Either or.
Right.
Because all you need to feel is loved by a parent or your parents.
What do you define as love, though? Because to them, love to them was giving us a roof over the head. Love to them was giving us jollof rice. Love to them was making sure we're in bed at, we're getting good grades in school. What do you do? What differentiates the love you give to your kids now to the love you receive?
Yeah, so everyone's definition of love is different.
Right.
Okay, the kind of love that I feel like I give my children right now is I try to be present.
What does that mean?
So they know that I'm there regardless. They can come and talk to me regardless.
So you're physically active in their life?
I'm physically active. I play with them. I chat with them. Don't get me wrong, they're young, but you have to start from early. As I said, kids' brains are sponges. So you need to fill it with love now. I tell my children every single day I love them. I didn't have that growing up.
Me neither.
And that's unfortunately, it could be just an African thing, or I don't know, black thing, whatever it is. Because in comparison, when I was growing up, I'll see my peers, their parent, white peers, by the way.
White peers
would be like,
love you, Jimmy.
Love you, mom. Hug.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bro, I'm there by myself, just walking into the school by myself with my backpack with my head down. I didn't get that. Imagine as a child how that feels. So that's the first thing. I tell my children every day I love them, and they tell me they love me back. So it's not just a case of saying it, it's feeling it as well. Because I'll tell you something happened the other day. I told you at the beginning, something happened with my roof.
Yep.
Like my foot went through the roof. I came down, I was so angry. You know what my children told me? Don't worry, Daddy, it's okay. We still love you.
Wow.
It's okay. They came and, bro, I could cry. They came to hug me.
That's so beautiful,
Don't worry, Daddy, it's going to be okay because we still love you, Daddy.
That's crazy, bro. I can't imagine that from an African household. Oh, these stupid roof. You stupid children are the one that...
I knew you'd be like, I can't talk to this person. You'd be hiding. My children came to tell me, it's okay, Daddy. We still love you. Do you know how much calm I felt in myself? And do you know what I said to myself? I said, it is what it is. It's happened. I cannot change it. I just have to now just find a way to deal with it. And that was because of my children.
If you didn't have your rough upbringing, though, would you be able to be...
When you say rough, what's rough?
Okay, rough as in the lack of love. Like, I'll give you an example as well. I feel like I had love in my childhood. My childhood, I grew up with my mum.
What's your definition of love from your parent?
Who? Now me they ask you question, and now
No,
you dey.
we're both in this now.
Yeah, but now you dey fire me.
Yes, so.
Definition of love from an African household or just generally?
Both.
Okay,
let's start from an African house, or from your parents, or from an African house.
From an African household, definition of love is you're in school, meaning they put you through education. They make sure you're in primary school and secondary school or whatever. They feed you and they clothe you. That to me is love from an African household. We've given you the best opportunity to be set up for life or in life. You don't, that's what I'll define as what love is from an African household. Right. If and when I choose to become a father, there's one thing that me and my mum share, and I respect and love her more than anyone in this planet. When I lost my virginity, bro, guess what I called?
Mom.
My mom. We could talk about anything. She's created an environment where there's no judgment. Imagine I called my mom. Yeah, I did it yesterday. Okay, cool. Did you use a condom? No, I didn't. Okay, cool. Well, you need to go get tested. There was no, oh my God. You've gone to make a girl pregnant. Stupid boy, I'm going to pray for you. Bro, I smoke weed sometimes. I tell my mom, I don't like you doing it. My mom doesn't like my hair. She'll still mess with it.
No Africans like locks,
but the relationship that I've got with my mom, specifically my mom, has given me the blueprint of how I need to be a parent when my time comes. Classic example of what you said about this love. Like me and my mom were having this conversation a few years ago and I was telling her, oh, you didn't say I love you, Now, before she hangs up the phone, guess what my mom said? I love you. There's one time, because me, I'm a mischievous guy. I like to push people's buttons. I said, give me a kiss on the lip. My mom's African. She don't know how to kiss. She kisses like this. I'm like, no, do like this. I'll stick it out. And I kiss my mom on the lips. I tell her, kiss me on the cheek. She's willing to adjust and adapt I know she loves me. I see she loves me. But the fact that I'm telling you this, okay, I require you to kiss me on the cheek. She's adapting. I don't know too many African parents who, I don't want to talk about my father because that's a whole different topic, whole different individual, whole different human, whole different brain, right? He has his method of showing love, but I think for a child, you need that masculine and feminine energy. You need that yin and yang, that good cop, bad cop. Even when I say bad cop, not the one who's going to hit you or whatever, because I didn't really get beaten up as a child. Every time I did, I deserved it because there was a reason behind it. Like my mom would give you a look, and if you keep doing it, then you know what's going to come. But the question of love, I think, is friendship to a certain degree with your child. To be able to talk to them and for them, another example, the first place I ever saw porn, like real pornography, was in maths class in the UK. I grew up in Nigeria. I wanted to tell my dad this. I'm not going to tell him that. I used to be, I don't know. It's not a conducive environment for me to be able to tell you this. Imagine I now watch this porn in school, and then, okay, now I know how to have sex. You know what? Let me go try it on this girl and I get her pregnant. I didn't have an environment to communicate. My mom was in Nigeria. If she was here, I would have told her. And I'm sure she would have, okay, well, I'm sure the way she would have handled it would have been different. But with me, pretty much, I don't want to say I grew up on my own, but to a certain degree, I kind of did. Yeah. Things could have gone if I lived in London, I think something drastic would have happened. Either join the gang or stab or be stabbed. I've done dumb stuff, even in Essex. When I was 16, someone dissed my mum. I took a knife and I went looking for him. If you don't have a relationship with your parent, things could go really bad. And we only do this out of being lost. Like, I think even if you grow your child and you're honest and open, there's still going to be childhood trauma, fine. But just being able to communicate with that parent and say, hey, I feel sad today.
You see, the thing is, as a child, as a being, you're going to experience trauma.
Irrespective.
But unfortunately, that's just the way this world works or how it is. Irrespective, you're going to experience some form of trauma in your life, whether it's from the childhood or the adulthood, you're going to experience trauma. So for me, I was like, it's like, had it been I didn't experience childhood trauma in the household, my experience would have been different. Because they say charity begins at home. So in your household, if you don't have that love underneath your roof, how are you now going to show love outside to other people? How are you going to give love? Love is important, especially from a caregiver to a child. And I think that's why a lot of child these days in this current generation are lost. Hence the reason why we have a lot of children carrying knives everywhere, killing each other. Either they don't have that role model, like you said, both parents. Unfortunately, we do have a lot of broken homes in terms of there's no mom and there's no dad in the same household, so they're separated. It happens. However, are you still in that child life as a role model and as a parent? You also then have to understand, as a parent, you can't, it gets to a certain, when your child is still a child or when you're children still a child, to I'll say to about 12, 13, you can't be their friend. In my opinion, you can't. You need to be their parent. It's when your child is of age to understand the logic of life and everything else, then you can be like, we are friends, because then now the relationship evolves.
So it's a different stage of the
Relationship.
Right.
Because you have a parent and a child relationship. So we need to have boundaries in place to be like, you're still the child, I'm the parent. So let's have that clear to get go. As we grow up as a child and as a parent, it gets to a stage where because as a child, as a parent, your job is to provide, to protect, and to guide your child and love, right? It gets to a stage, you no longer need to guide them because they're going to experience shit for themselves, but you still need to love them and you still need to protect them. And that's when you now become friends with them. Hence the reason why you probably have the kind of friends, the relationship you have with your mom, in the sense where you can pick up the phone, Mom, how you doing? What's going on, bruh? Have a conversation. As opposed to, oh, how you doing, ma? Yes, ma. You still have a level of respect, but the relationship is different.
It's evolved. It's evolved. Yeah.
It's no longer, oh, she's my mom, she's my parent. She's my mom, but she's also my friend. Because I can call and rely on her any given moment. And that's what I'm saying. Imagine you didn't have that in your life. And that's what I was saying earlier in terms of the void, the hole. No one else can fill that for you, bro.
No. And what I also find confusing is, as I said, I grew up in the same household with my sister, and her experience is totally different. And I can't fathom it. I can't see how it's not the same. Obviously, it's different people, different experiences, different views, different visions. But I don't know if you grew up with other people in your household, but do they also have that same resentment towards your parents?
Their experience is similar but different. So it's like, it's only now that all my siblings are grown, like literally 25 plus. I'm the eldest, so we're 25 plus. To the point where even my youngest brother, he's 25. We had a conversation not too long ago, and he was like, damn, now I understand what you went through. He said, I didn't realize it before, but now I understand. Because obviously he's 25, I'm 36, right? So you can see the age gap. When I was 10, he was like, what does he know? But I was already going through all of that. So up until like later, when I was like 20, before I left home, I was 20 when I left home. So he's now 10. So he's thinking what's going on. But as I've left home, they're going through what they're going through. Obviously, I'm none the wiser, because when I left home, I was just like, I'm free. Literally, I was like, I'm free. Do you know what I mean? And that's when my life began. I'm not going to lie to you.
In what way?
Bro,
you had this resentment, you had this contained anger. Is it free to now release the anger, free to now beat up the whole world? So
before I answer that, let me go back to like, my brothers and that. So obviously their experiences. So literally he now said to me, bro, now I understand what you went through. Like obviously with my parents and stuff, now he understands like the kind of, but obviously with them, it was a case of a lot of the opportunities that they had, I didn't. Because as a first child, you're like, I'm not gonna lie, you're the trial run. You are. They wanted you, yes, but a lot of the time your parents are probably not in the place they wanted to be in terms of whether it's career-wise, money-wise, house-wise. They're not settled like financially to be able to provide everything they would have wanted to for you. But as time goes on, they become more financially stable. So now, because you're a lot older, you're probably okay, it's now your siblings that are the fruits of that labor.
They're getting the love you didn't get.
They traveled way more than I did. Way more than I did. Did I resent my parents for it? No, I understood that when I was younger, they didn't have the facilities to do that for me. So I get all of that. So I don't resent them for that, because I reckon I'll be stupid to do that. They did what they could do within their means. I didn't say I didn't travel at all. I did, but they did what they could do within their means. So I'll be very stupid to be like, oh, well, because I didn't get this and they got that, I'm gonna now. No, I didn't resent them for that. It was the other little stuff which went a long way to me. Take me to football, show up at football, watch me at football. Because you keep saying, oh, you're good at football, but did you push me to be better? Did you take me to the park and let's do 1, 2, let's do drills? No, I wanted to be a footballer. I thought I played in an academy. That was off my own back. because I did the hard work until I got injured and then I could no longer play. Do you see what I'm trying to say? So that's the kind of love that I think.
Especially if that was your dream.
That was my dream.
And your
bro.
parents,
I just needed a guidance, which is why I said like there's several things that a parent should be doing. Guidance was one of them. I didn't get that in that aspect, which is what I needed and wanted at that time. And I didn't get it.
How important is it for a parent to identify the child's dream? I'll give you I'll give you an example. So again, from an African household, if you're not a doctor, accountant, lawyer, engineer, or one of those, popular degrees, you're
one of those professions.
You're a waste of sperm.
You are a failure.
You are a failure. You're an embarrassment.
Yeah,
right?
Embarrassed.
You are, embarrassed, right? And I have a friend who is a comedian. He's huge. When he was coming up, no support from his parents. Now he's blown. He's blown. That's my song. That's my song. How important is it for a parent to identify their child's dream and support that dream, irrespective of what it is? Obviously, you don't have a dream. You don't want a daughter who has a dream to be an OnlyFans model or to be a whatever. You know what I mean? So obviously, it's relative to But how important is it?
Very important, and I think you need to identify that and realize that early on.
Do you identify it, or does the child show interest in it?
And this is the thing: if you are invested and you are present, this is what I was saying to you earlier. If you are present in your children's life and you watch them, you would know what they're interested in. You would know, right? So my girls right now, they love gymnastics as much as I love football. I could be like, oh, go and play women's football. They are not interested in that. They haven't. Okay, they don't want to do that. They have an interest, but that's not their main focus right now. Their thing right now is gymnastics. Bearing in mind, as a child, you don't know what the fuck you want. You don't. That's what I'm saying. As a child, you're still trying to find your ways. Everything is short-lived as a child. It's you're interested in this, or you've lost your attention span is so short, you move on to the next.
It's like me right now.
As I said to you last time, I was playing football, then I was going basketball, then it's like, which one do you want to do? I was doing tracks. I was fast at running. But which one do you got to a stage where this is like now in my teenage years, which is where a lot of people are getting scouted and stuff like that. So it's now, which one do you want to do? Because you need to now focus. So when you get to that stage, that one is different. But when you're like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, you have an idea, you're sort of testing the water. Like now my children, they love gymnastics. What did I do? I enrolled them in gymnastics academy. If later on, in about 5 years, they turn around and say, Dad, actually, I don't want to do gymnastics again. I'm not going to be like, it's a waste of money. Do you know why? Because they're going to be transferable skills to whatever they want to do next. And that's where you need to focus as a parent and be like, and not be like judgmental and be interested. Show your care, show you're interested. Because like now they go to gymnastics. I don't take them to gymnastics, their mum does. But do you know what? When they come back, I have that conversation. How was gymnastics today? Oh, what did you guys do? They'll tell me what they did. Oh, but you did that last week. Oh, no. Because I am involved.
Right.
Even though I'm not taking them, I'm consciously involved. Because if I didn't care, I wouldn't remember what they did last week. And I wouldn't have been able to have that conversation with them because I am present in the moment in their life. And they will remember that. Because children, they remember everything. Let's
100%.
Because I could be like, oh, but you did this. They'll be like, no, that was the week before. Oh, sorry. But I know at least they did something. So it's not like I'm not showing any form of interest at all. So that's the thing. Like children at a certain age, they don't know what they want. They're still sort of finding their feet. So let's be honest, they're still finding their feet. Even us as an adult, it gets to a stage, we're still finding our feet. We don't know up to, like we go from one job thinking, oh, this is the career that we want. And after you're like, actually, we changed careers because we realized that's not the career for us. Like I didn't plan to be a nurse, but I'm a nurse and I love it. But that was not my initial goal. I started off I wanted to be a footballer. Then I realized I couldn't be a footballer. Then I had to deviate. Okay, what's the next best thing that I love? I love cars and I love drawing and designing. I love tech. Okay, went to uni to do product design. I wanted to be, drawing cars and designing vehicles and all that kind of stuff. That didn't work out for me either. What did I then do? Go back to uni, do nursing. I didn't plan all of that. Do you know what I mean? Went back to nursing, did that, and now here we are today.
And who knows what the next 4 years might bring. You might choose to go down a different career.
But what I've never lost? I've never lost the interest of the design the creativeness. Here's the reason why we're...
Hence why we're here. Everything here is you. Everything, yeah.
Being a creative has always been in me. But does my parent know that? I'll tell you today, the answer is probably no. Because you're not interested in what I do, what I like, what my strengths are. You've never sat me down to be like, what do you like doing? What's your interest? What do you want? What's your goal in life?
Why though? Why do you think?
This is an African... Do you know what? There might be some African parents out there, because I don't want to paint every African parent with the same brush, because I have seen some African parents actively involved in their children's life who are our age, and they have a fantastic relationship. Fantastic, which I envy.
I don't know too many.
I do. I have a friend like, bro, you can tell his mum, like, mum, what are you doing? Like, they are best friends. Like, bro, although they argue a lot, but you can tell like they have a relationship. And I've seen that from when we were young, because we've known each other over 20 years. They have a fucking relationship that I have always envied, because I've never had that. This is what I'm trying to say. So it's like, I don't want to say every African parent is the same, but the majority are not actively involved in their children's life.
Would you say it's a lack of information, or it's passed down? So if I think about how my parents were brought up, like my mum, for example, she came from a very loving home. Her parents used to dance together. They eat from the same plate. They sit all of them down together. So I see, okay, that's why she could have this relationship with me, whereby there's no judgment. Yeah. And there's respect, there's discipline. My mom used to beat me as a child sometimes, and I deserved it every single time. But then she's also going to feed me and make sure I'm not too bruised or whatever. So from her household, she came from a very, like a model home. Like literally when her dad died, when her mum died, within 2 or 3 years, her dad died as well. From, obviously he was sick, but there was like heartbreak, because him and his partner had done everything together. Like, so I see that. But I also look at, I don't know too much about my dad's household or his upbringing, but I don't visualize it to be as loving as what my mum's was, or else it will be innate to him. So look at how you are with your kids. It's highly likely they're going to be loving parents to their children, because that's the norm to them. So why is it that in the African household, or for some, a majority of the Africa, why is that militant, aggressive, violent way seen as the norm?
I couldn't answer that. This is where we need to sit down and have a conversation with our elders, as they call it, elders, and try to understand from their standpoint. Because I watched the program the other day. I haven't finished watching it, but it was about a bunch of kids sitting down with their parents, African parents.
I would love to have our parents in this
I will send you the link.
No, I want to do this episode with our parents, brother. And I'll look, you know.
So they were saying that I'm just gonna. It's like I'm paraphrasing from what I watched. So the children, they were trying to say so the parents were trying to say, you not calling or saying ma and sa to elderly is disrespectful.
It's on YouTube.
Rude. Remember,
I saw a clip of it.
Did you see it?
They're
and he was
black,
like,
right?
Yeah. And the guy was like, no, it's not rude. I'm like, yes, it's rude. And the guy was like, so if I'm not happy about something, I'm not just supposed to be like, oh no, and just go along with it. They were like, yes.
See, respect.
And the guy was like, no. And they literally all in it was like, that's disrespectful. As in the parents, like, you are being rude. Like now you are being like, no, I'm not. I'm so
telling you my opinion.
I cannot, like, I don't have a mouth to speak. So when I speak my truth, it's rude. How the fuck? So, and this is what I'm saying. So it's like we're being suppressed and silenced. As a child, because you're my parent, I should shut up and not have the mouth to talk. Like, I don't have a brain to think for myself. And this is what spoils a lot of relationships in African households. I can only speak about African because I'm an African. It could potentially happen in a Caribbean home. You understand? Or even sometimes in a white home. Because let's be honest, their issues are different. Shut up, mom. Shut up, dad.
Do
you know what I'm trying to say? Like, but in an African household, it's shut up. You don't speak to your elders like that. Who do you think you are? You want to talk to me like that? Yeah, get out.
Material.
No, get out of my house. If that's how you're going to start talking. No, it gets to that extent. It literally gets to the extent where, okay, pack it. Oh yeah, go. Go. I don't care where you go. Go. You're not living in this house. You come back late. Where did you go? Where did you go? What time is it? You're late.
Stop this.
So imagine like now bringing all of that into your adulthood life.
You're an angry person.
How are you going to behave?
You have a chip on your shoulder straight away.
Exactly.
You have a chip on your shoulder.
And where's that come from?
From your home. From your childhood. God. It's
Everything
sad.
stems from our childhood.
It's sad. It's sad.
And it's like, again, you probably say to the person like, oh, you're depressed. You want to go to therapy. What's therapy? Go to church.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as therapy.
You know, one thing I clocked as well, maybe not now, because I think with social media and with wokeism and with communication, people are less angry and, well, I don't know what I'm...
Less angry?
Maybe, sorry, that's why I just had to catch myself. But you know the stereotypical black male, hoodie, angry, you see three of them on that side of the street you want to cross. I look at them as not necessarily victims of the environment, but I'm like, there's probably no... What you just described as this chip on your shoulder, that's what I see, just angry black men who then can't get a job because of how they look, and then you're even triple angry, and then what's your only option? Crime or fast cash. And then where does that end you? Jail. But then if you then go to the corporate world, oh, you're black, you're probably aggressive, then you have to learn to adapt. It's just, it almost seems like the black male is not destined to fail, but the path to failure is started from your childhood, you know? South London, whatever. Actually, maybe I shouldn't say South London. Before anyone from South London comes and beat me.
Bruv, it's London, bruv.
Just
It's just London. It is what it, like, it's just London.
And then the music we listen to, nigger music, the movies we watch, the kind of food we consume, fried this, fried that, it's not really the best for your body. You're literally almost designed by default from birth to fail. Isn't that sad?
What, as a black man?
As a black man, obviously depending on your environment, depending on your social, economic status, depending on the type of parents you have. But then if you come from a broken home straight away, you already have a chip on your shoulder. You're 16, you're misguided, you have no leader, you have no one to look up to. It's not looking good, mate.
You need a positive role model in your life.
Where are you going to find that?
But it should be from the household.
But there's no father.
But that's sometimes
there's a mom who's on drugs.
And this is the problem of today. This is the problem of today. There's a lot of children that they don't have any positive role models in their life. And where did they look for it? Outside. And that's not positive. You're looking for negative. That is a case of, how do I make quick money?
Yep.
You're being exploited. You're being told to do stuff that you probably don't even, you're none the wiser. You never thought you would do in your goddamn life, but you are doing it. Because why? You don't know nothing else.
And you're looking for love and acceptance, no?
That's the, you see that word? Acceptance.
Oh.
Acceptance and encouragement. You see those two goes big.
It could take you far. Far in the dark world. Or
Imagine saying, you just imagine this for a minute, right? Any of your parents just said to you, son, I love you. I love what you're doing. And whatever it is that you're doing, you know, I'll support you in anything.
I'll do that 10 times 25
and if
million,
there's
bro.
anything that you want help with, just know that I'm always here. You see that alone? You see the way you are shaking?
Bro, I'll break a brick wall, bro.
Just hearing that alone will go a long way.
Yeah.
I love you and I accept you for who you are. And just know that I'm always here to support you in anything and everything that you do. And not enough children hears that.
Yeah.
I didn't hear it growing up. Did you?
Not that I can remember, mate. No. I know one thing my mom definitely... You know what? If I'm going to be honest, I wish I heard that from my dad. Because I always saw my mom as not necessarily feminine, but you're a woman. I'm a man. I want my dad to see me as this little soldier who is... That's my guy. I've always craved that. And subconsciously, throughout my latter years or my recent years, I've actually subconsciously sought male validation from my male friends. Like, oh, bro, should I do this? Oh, bro, should I? Even though I know I can do it and I should do it, but I want the boys to tell me I should do it. Then I feel more, oh, should I go talk to that girl? If the boys went there, I'll go talk to her. But if the boys are, yeah, do it, I'm like, yeah, cool. Then I talk to her. Then I come back to the guys. Guys, I did it. It's nothing to do with the girls, but these guys are like, these males, like, it's crazy,
Sure,
bro.
it's the male figure. Like, you need that.
It's
like,
crazy.
Someone that you look up to that you respect and that you value their opinion. That's basically what you are seeking. Whereas you should have got it from home, to be fair.
But I didn't.
Because from outside, you can be you can be misled
Easily.
because these so-called people, they can potentially say, yeah, we got your back. But when shit hits the fan, do they have your back?